Hey everybody, back again. Lenny, the starving electrician. Uh, just doing these videos to talk about the stuff on the job site, what goes on, stuff. I'll be doing educational videos like I do. I got a lot of shorts and a lot of long forms, but I'm just going to be telling you just some stories about me in the trade. Last week was about me being an apprentice and all the mishaps and what happens and stuff like that. But today let's talk about in Detroit, the River Rouge powerhouse. Well, the whole thing's a giant complex. Back in the day, Henry Ford, turn of the century, I guess had a vision that he would build a place for his Model T cars, whatever. So that's all self-contained. So in the River Rouge powerhouse, or the Henry Ford complex, or whatever you want to call it, is where they build the Mustangs. They have a powerhouse that generates its own electricity and it would sell it back to Detroit Edison. Had a foundry, steel mill, everything self-contained, one whole giant city. So yeah, it was something. You'd be so the river wraps around it, so you see the big ships coming in, dropping off the iron ore, and well, that's the way I liked it. Industrial, high, hot, and dirty is what they called it. And man, that's the way I liked it. But just like anything else, you work hard, you play hard. But so they had these three furnaces, A, B, and C, and they were there since the turn of the century. Very outdated. I mean, if you saw this, it looked like something you'd see in a movie, like some Mad Max stuff like that. All as cool as ice, man. So we had worked on that job. I'd worked on the job. I just loved it. But there's so many cool things to that complex. But the one thing that I remember, not more than anything, is the shitters, the outhouses. Man, the heat beating down in those things, and they'd get full, and it'd be like a cone coming up above the toilet seat. Then the writing, I tell you, every day was something new on the outhouse walls. Um, and there was this pipe fitter chick. Well, there's 200 electricians, a couple hundred pipe fitters. We're going to refit one of the or two of the furnaces. This thing they brought out, National Geographic. They're doing all kinds of stuff because it's one of the biggest things done to repower to bring this beast back to life. But there's one fitter chick. She's all tatted down, man, body just killer. And she was hot, and everybody knew it. She never talked to anybody, but she was cool. But you go in the pisser, and I look, and I see, I want to fuck that fitter chick written right on the wall. like damn, okay. So my buddy goes in there and changes it from chick with the I, turns it into you. I want to fuck that fitter, Chuck. So nevertheless, you see it scribbled out. So whoever wrote that, I guess he didn't want to be known as the guy who wants to fuck that fitter, Chuck. But man, it was a great time out there, and I had a partner named Jim. Man, Jim was a great guy who had a great foreman. His name was Honeycutt, and whenever we'd go, for lunch, we'd go to the bar, a couple of beers and a burger, and Jim would say like, "Hey, I told Honeycutt I'm cutting out early, so go in there and put our tools away." I'm like, "Nah, I'm not going to go back." Like, you have to. I just don't want. You got to tell Honeycutt. Like, he'll figure it out when I'm not there. So the abuse the poor guy took, those were back in the good old days, and you kind of just came and gone as you went. So so, I mean, it was just that kind of a job with Honeycutt. We're doing all the big pipe work, the 4-inch rigid pipe and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, switch gear. I mean, it was something because the kettle cars would come underneath you, and they had all that molten steel and slag everywhere. I mean, it was rocking hot. But so me and Jim got assigned a job. So Jim tells me, "Hey, Honeycutt's going to come give you the directions, or let you know what we're going to do, what the scope is, and I'm going to go take a piss, and then I'll be back, and let's get it on." So right on. So I see Honeycutt strolling down. Honeycutt's about 6'5", good looking guy, has a swagger like John Wayne. Here he comes down the middle of this big aisleway, and he comes up to me, and so he's giving me the directions or what we're going to be doing, for the day. But me, all I could think of, I'm looking down at my hands. I had one glove. I'm like, where's my other glove? Where's my other glove? And Honeycutt's giving the directions and talking and what the job is, and we're there in a minute. Just can't think where my gloves are. So Honeycutt walks off, and then I'm like, oh, no, okay, cool. Jim comes out of the bathroom and says, all right, so what are you doing? What's the job? I'm like, I don't know. What the fuck do you mean you don't know? I saw you talking to Honeycutt. I just said, I don't know where my glove is. I wasn't paying attention. He's like, you're going to go back there and go talk to him and get the information. I said, then I look like an asshole. Like I wasn't listening to him. You weren't listening to him. I was a little preoccupied. I mean, yeah, it just knucklehead shit that would go down, I mean, that job. So Honeycutt was a great guy, and he would, he was cool. He's a brother, but you don't really associate with the foreman too much, because you kind of look like a kiss ass. Even if your buddy, you have a tool partner and he becomes foreman, then all of a sudden, it's like they're the enemy. I never understood that, but okay. That's what it is when you're in the union, and especially when it's on a big job. But so Honeycutt, we had my ex-wife had this friend. She was hot, and she's single. I'm like, what? Honeycutt, good looking dude, and they'd probably hit it off. So I talked to Honeycutt. I said, hey man, I got this chick. You want to meet her? We'll go down to Greek Town, get some Greek food, man, hit the casino. And he's like, yeah, I'm down, man, right on. I'm like, I couldn't tell him keep it under wraps, but he knew the unwritten rules. So so it's cool. We're working, and then I'm with my tool partner Jim, and then it's the end of the shift, and we go back to our toolbox, put our tools away, and Honeycutt walks up to me and says, in front of Jim, he says, hey, do you think I should run home and take a shower, or do you think I should just bring my clothes tomorrow, and then we'll go down there? Jim looked at me wide-eyed, and he just turned and he walked away. I'm like, fuck, man, it's like I'm trying to blow the boss. It's what it's perceived as, especially in the local. So I'm like, oh, I hang my head in shame after Honeycutt walks off, And then there's the man trailer, and it's got, again, there's a bunch of them. There's 200 of us, and it was full. And walk up, I'm walking, and it's dark by this time. We're doing 712s. I open the door, and there's Jim standing in the doorway. Now he's a big dude. He's about 6'2", 260 pounds, big dude. And I walk up, and I open the door, and I look, and there he's standing there looking down at me. He said, you sicken me. He turned and walked away. I'm like, Jim, no. He said, don't even talk to me, motherfucker. Are you serious? I said, Jim, don't tell anybody, man. Don't tell anybody, because you do. You're a pariah. They knew I wasn't a kiss ass. I mean, in the local union, for me, I was a brother in the union, because when I got laid off, I went back to the hall. I wouldn't take a transfer. The whole idea with the union is that it's a work share. So if you're laid off, so is your brother, and you take your turn being laid off. We all share the brunt. But those kiss asses didn't have to do that. They would call them kiss asses. A lot were, but don't get me wrong. A lot were, but they would stay on and then, get transferred around, stuff like that. And a lot of them would be a lot of, we call them meat whistles, not kissing ass, just kissing the sausage. But to get on, but that's what's perceived as you just even being friends with the boss or what have you, But Honeycutt and Jim and the whole crew. I mean, like Jim, they had a lottery pool, and it was with all the trades. So you had damn near, 1,000 tradesmen, and buck a piece or whatever it was. But Jim had hit. Jim hit for $6,000. I'm like, right on, Jim. He's like, you ready to go get our money? I said, our money? What are you talking about? He said, you're my partner, aren't you? I'm like, well, yeah. He said, you do the same, right? Yeah. So we go to the trailer and we get our $6,000. We give $1,000 to the benevolent fund to help the sick and needy out of our local. Then Jim and I split $5,000. I mean, this guy's a prince. You ever make it to heaven, you're going to see him, and you tell him from Lenny. I said, hey, I just missed the golf outing. It was yesterday. It was in Detroit. I mean, I've been golfing in it for 25 years. I've probably golfed 25 times, but it was yesterday, and Jim's always there too, and handling business and stuff like that. I really missed the golf outing. I missed the guys, and being a union electrician for a long time, man, it had its ups and it had his downs, his way downs. As I talked about in my previous video, I was on the road for years. Then when my number finally came up, you get some work, and then somebody's brother, cousin, son would come in, and then you found your ass on a layoff line. And so, it wasn't quite as fun, but jobs like that, the big ones, River Rouge Powerhouse and stuff, I mean, more videos to come about. I'm going to introduce you to a lot more cast of characters. I mean, my best friend that I ran with, his name was Wally, a Vietnam veteran, and he was freaking insane. He loved Vietnam so much, he went back 3 times, did 3 tours of duty. And man, he lies, and I'd swear to it. I mean, he was on the River Rouge Powerhouse too, as well. And he would spread rumors. Like, you walk into a room, you walk in anywhere, boss walking by, we're just talking, and a boss come walking by, and he's like, oh man, you see that guy's dick? Oh yeah, it's like a baby's arm holding an apple. I mean, shit like that. Then I'm like, oh, I know, it's beautiful. You just have to be fast with Wally. Wally's about 400 pounds, 6 foot, big old burly beard, and he's talking. I mean, he'd make everybody uncomfortable with all the gay talk. So on this powerhouse, they have an elevator, and they got one old man, and they're operating the elevator. And he'd been there for, I don't know, 30, 40 years, just operating the elevator, going to the top of the powerhouse. And we're walking. We've got our job assignment. It's a different time. I wasn't with Jim at this time. We get our job assignment. We go to the top. And as soon as we walk in, Wally said, oh, yeah, man. So the police really get mad. Man, they beat that dude up. I said, yeah, something. He said, yeah, that fitter was blowing that iron worker. And the cops got him, wrestled him to the ground. And he was all skinned up. He was butt naked. His dick was all messed up. And I'm like, I said, I know. I blew my mind. So with Wally, you got to roll with it. So by the time we didn't turn around and acknowledge this elevator operator. So we knew what was going to happen. So we get off the elevator, and then we go do our shit. And sure enough, the rumors are swirling about a fitter and an iron worker blowing each other in the parking lot. The cops got him. They wrestled him down. I mean, people knew. They're like, I think I know who it was. And I mean, Wally would get the rumor mill swirling. So, I mean, I've got so many stories of the powerhouse and, fun stuff like that. Astros, hey, how you doing, my man? How you doing? You guys going to join me with a beer? I see a couple of people watching, but come on, let's pick up a beer. It's Saturday. So, yeah, man, so I decided to do all these long form videos. Just anybody who's been in the trade, carpenter, plumber, what have you. I mean, I'm sure you've got all these great stories of these different characters that you meet through the years and the adventures that you get in. Like I say, this Wally character, and then the things that he's done. I've got a million stories. And, what's funny is like I got a buddy here, and you talk to him. When he talks about himself, I'll listen to him. When I've got a subject, he just kind of drifts off, just one of those cats. So me having even just as few people here, I've got my own captive audience. So So thank you guys. I like having just fun telling the stories. Again, if you have any stories, anything like that, put them in the chat or just link them. I'll put the video on as a long form and stuff like that. But yeah, those man, when you say those are the good old days, you don't realize that today is the good old days. If I'd have realized that then, I'm like, oh, I'm in the good old days. You don't know until it's gone. Just like anything else. Um, and apprentices wondering, well, what should I do? A trade? Should I get in the local? Should I go non-union? Man, I've got a video on that. It's different. Both are very, very different. And non-union brings in a certain attitude about it. And if they get organized in, they didn't go through the apprenticeship, so they didn't learn certain traits per se. As the union guys, I mean, I came in, I didn't go through the apprenticeship, but I never rolled with a big shop either, where it taught you a certain way to think and act, and like work through your breaks, work through your lunch. The boss is doing you a favor by giving you overtime and stuff like that. All right, quick question. How many DUIs do you have in order to be eligible for a master electrician? Man, no shit. I mean, 'cause it is what it is. We're sitting here, we're talking, we're cursing, we're having beers. Yeah, I've had a DUI. I had one. And I tell you what, best experience I ever had, because I learned my lesson, that one. I don't even go out at nighttime anymore. I take Uber. But it was, I mean, I got shit faced. I was waiting on a buddy of mine. He blew me off while I was waiting for him and his girl. I got fucked up. And then, I mean, I shouldn't have driven, but I did. And, I was out of control then too. So, got my DUI, and man, that's about it. I'm not considered the brightest bulb in the pack. But I do have my contractor's license in Detroit, in Michigan. I still have it as active. And I took my test here in Las Vegas. So I have two contractor's licenses. I took 2 months off, and I lived off my credit cards to study. And 2 months off to study here. I didn't know what the test was like. Didn't know what it was like, and I passed it. And it's a godsend. I'm not working now per se. I've got my YouTube channel. I've got advertising. It's halfwaytovegas.com. You can check it out, what I'm doing out there, my advertising. But I'm whoring my license out to 2 different companies. You can do that here. So they're both paying me a salary. Hey guys, that's what you got to do. Stay educated, work hard, play hard, but you got to educate yourself. There's a lot of things that I can't do because I simply didn't care. It's a big thing to say as an electrician, but I was good at what I did. But the more technical stuff, I should have learned more. That's my regret. And I fucked off a lot. So now to get a regular job, and do you know how to do this or do that? Like, yeah, I've been on this job, but it's the technical stuff kind of escapes me. I really have to study for it. But the job, the River Rouge Powerhouse, 200 electricians. So I would go to the bar. I wouldn't come back. I wouldn't want, I don't want to drink and be on the job. So I'm just not coming back. And then, of course, in the mornings, first thing I do is talk about dicks or something. They're like, it's just 6 o'clock in the morning, Lenny. Why the jokes about dicks? I mean, because it's funny. It's great. I'm here to wake you guys up. So the job goes on, and it's coming to a head. We know it's coming to a head. And so there's a giant layoff. They had about a 200-man layoff. And, I had a big reputation in my local just for fucking around. And so they had the big layoff. Everybody handed the pink slips. And I didn't get laid off. And they're like, you didn't get laid off, Lenny? I mean, all the fucking hardcores, smart dudes, this and that, blah, blah, blah. No, he kept me and Jim on because we knew the big stuff, the rigid pipe, for our brains, and our hands. And I said, so Honeycutt kept us on. So there's only like 10 men. but he had us groom an apprentice. He was a cousin or some shit like that. I said, why am I not getting laid off? He said, you're here strictly for entertainment purposes only. That was the payoff, and you stay on 712s for a little bit, but just like anybody else, I took my layoff when the job was done. I wasn't going to go anywhere else with the company, and I'm sure they didn't want me to come anywhere else with the company. It was just having a prince like Honeycutt, you know, was he's he was just a good guy, man, and that job was one of the good ones. We'd chase the overtime big time. We'd be on a job, call the job line. If there's 712s, we would quit and run down to the hall. Not very ethical, but we would. I mean, just to chase the overtime. But, you know, I did it for 10 years, and then all of a sudden, you know, my kids are grown, and the wife, I know she started out as a whore, but became more of one, you know, as we moved on. Okay, I'm going to read something from the Astros again. Sorry. Long-time stalker, first-time caller. I've been doing low voltage and fiber optic splicing for 10 years. With all the data centers popping up, I'm really thinking about joining the IBW. Hey, man, you know, if you've got the experience, you're going to get the pay out of the IBW. You're going to get the bennies and everything else. The only thing is, when you're laid off, for one, you go back to a non-union shop, you're a piece of shit. You know, basically, and anybody finds that out, it's going to be a problem. Especially if you organize, they can take away your pension and stuff like that too if you go non-union. I'm not sure if that's about organizing or if they trained you, you know, because they trained you, they gave you the knowledge. I got a buddy who went through the apprenticeship and he went in-house with Ford, but I don't know if that's a problem with the union. But you want to join the union, there's a lot of perks to it. You've been doing it. They have low voltage. They have low voltage guys. You're going to get more money. That's for damn sure than you would on the non-union end. But I don't know. Things are changing these days. Big non-union shops, and they're paying good money. Like out here in Vegas, $35 an hour, something like that. I mean, in the union here, it's 50. Why would I take a job for $35 an hour? That's why the union is so important, because they set the standards. They're the ones who fought hard. They bled the blood down from Jimmy Hoffa all the way to whoever you want to talk about now with the Teamsters and everything else. They shed the blood. And so to fight for a living wage. And so therefore that sets the standard for what the wage should be. If there was no union, if everybody played fair, then you wouldn't need a union. The great living wage, great bennies, everything else. But like here at $35 an hour, the median, I just looked, the median house price here in Vegas is close to $500,000. You tell me how I can survive on $35 an hour to pay for a $500,000 house. No, I'd need 3 wives, and they need to be in the union. Oh, I've got another story about the wives and the union, and you're going to want to tune in for next week. Yeah. Remember I said that my wife was a bit of a whore, ran for mayor of Whore Island unopposed? Yeah, she wanted to join the local too. Oh, guys, gals, please don't ever have your spouse with you in the union. Bad news, I'm telling you. But hey, this is fun. Astro, you're the only guy commenting, but that's okay. I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody looking and watching. Let's just have some fun. So I'm going to do this next week. I'm just having fun with it. I'm new with this, going live. I've never really done this before. The channel's big, but it's kind of fading out. So, but yeah, I'll do this, and the long forms will be educational as well. I've got a sponsor, this bonbon.com, Ask Bonbon. So it's a AI electrician code book thing. It's out of control. It's really cool. So I'm gonna do a lot of short forms with that. But yeah, so I'll do some educational ones. But hey, man, let's just sit back and talk, guys. And if you enjoy it, man, hey, grab a beer. If it's scheduled, I'm gonna do them on Saturdays. I'm gonna go to 12 o'clock my time, Pacific, and just have some fun and bullshit, and then you want to hang around and do that. It's great, but you work hard, you play hard. What do you do when it's time to play hard? Again, taco time. Oh yeah, come on, guys. Join in with me. So next time you guys bring your own tacos. Let me get to the camera. I don't want to pour it all over my computer. Oh yeah. Look at that bomb-ass red sauce. When you're on the West Coast, there's no better Mexican food than out here. I'm not going to make you guys watch me eat, but we got the cool ones. We got the tacos. I appreciate every one of you watching. So please tune in next week. Be here next Saturday. You got any questions, anything like that? Don't hesitate to ask. And yeah, I'm going to have to figure out how to end this stream because, again, not the brightest bulb in the back. All right. Thank you, guys. Take care. Have a great Saturday.